life was just starting, and I waited till I was like 31 before I got married. And it was through that horrific experience that the angels started coming to me.
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And welcome everybody to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. I'm so grateful to be with you. I've got a really wonderful guest today, someone I've known for a long time, Joanne Macko. She here in the local area, and she's done many things, but like one of the things she's known for is producing these incredible lightworker events here in our area historically and for many years. And she isn't doing them currently, but like that doesn't matter. Like she did it for many, many years. And the truth is, she's just like, really one of those earth angels, right? She's just here,
Oh,
just bringing all the good energy all the time, and doing her paintings of angels and everything, and like all the artwork she does, and then she just has a lot of healing energy that she can bring to you just by hanging out here on this podcast. Really, I mean, she's got that kind of lovely transmission, and so we're going to be talking about, yeah, what she does with the healing art and the art of healing and all that. And doesn't that sound cool, right? I want to learn more about that too, and hear from someone that's been, has a lot of experience, decades of experience with all this stuff, and to help guide us today. So, Joanne, it's really great to be back with you. It's been years since we've
oh
connected.
my God. This is so much fun. It's so fun to reconnect with you, Dan. I'll tell you. Thank you for the honor of being on your show. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get a lot of requests, and I happen to put a post on social media. You were one of the number of people that put up the hands, and trust me, only a couple of handfuls at the most got invited. Like, so here you are. Like, let's have her on.
I'm honored.
We gotta have you on. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so I'm grateful for everything you bring forth. I think there's so much that you bring forth that's also on the invisible level, like people, not a direct, transmission because of the way you're circulating as a soul here on the planet. And I just want to acknowledge you for that right off the bat.
Oh,
And so,
thank
but
you.
again, like for most of us, you weren't so aware necessarily of all this, like from day one, right? But at some point, like you started awakening and different experiences. I know part of it is like, you were visited by angels and all that. So tell us about what got you into all this.
Oh my goodness. Well, at 5 years old, Dan, believe it or not, I told my mom I'm going to be a famous artist or a doctor at
Oh.
5. So I knew my life mission right off the bat. And thank God I had a mom that listened to me. She would buy me the doctor kits. She bought me all the John Nagy Learn to Draw kits. And I did go to med school, fainted in the morgue, and I thought, you know what? Here's my scalpel. Give me a paintbrush. And I never stopped. So I've always been in art in some way, shape, or form. I worked for endless advertising firms, throughout Ohio. I was even the artist for the Federal Reserve Bank. Most people don't know that. And no, I didn't design the money. That's the first thing they asked me. But I always knew that there was a higher force, and I had to go to catechism classes as a Catholic because my mother said, no one is going to marry you if you don't make all your sacraments. So I was always the little girl that would question all the nuns, and nothing made sense to me with the strict religions. And there I was, I made all my sacraments for my mother, got married, but it was only 2 weeks after our honeymoon. I was in the middle of writing a hardbound book, my first hardbound book in Cleveland, Ohio, about antique inns and restaurants. And I had just finished my last interview. Now, mind you, we were only home from our honeymoon a week. And out of the clear blue, this drunk driver doing 100 miles an hour smashed into us on a busy freeway on a Friday night. Nothing left of the car. We were spinning, doing donuts for, oh my God. And I'm in ER and they're poking pins in me, and I have no feeling from my waist down. So you can imagine my life was just starting, and I waited till I was like 31 before I got married. And it was through that horrific experience that the angels started coming to me because I had nowhere to go. I couldn't move. I was being spoon fed. I was on 13 meds. It was the worst nightmare of my life. And what I kept hearing was, until you forgive this man from your heart and truly mean it and find the blessing in this, you are never going to heal and move forward. And I'm like, what do you mean find the blessing in this? My life is over as I know it. And they showed me a different way of looking at this drunk driver. Now, mind you, this is like 1980. There were no drunk driving laws in effect. He went off, he was so drunk, he was uninjured. I had to go through 7 years of therapy. I mean, there was so much damage to my neck and back, it would forget it, you know. And they told me I'd probably never walk again. So you talk about facing a
Wow.
wall when you
Mm.
think your life is just magical and you're starting a new path. So what they showed me is just what if this man was your best friend before you came here to Earth School? They always called this place Earth School, a place where you learn or teach lessons. And they showed me that he loved me so much that we agreed through this contract to go through this horrific scene so that I could learn to forgive him, forgive myself, but the most important is that I could heal my own body with my thoughts, energy. And I was like, whoa, that was let me tell you what, that one, like, what? But fast forward, everybody wanted to operate on me, and I chose not to. They thought I was out of my mind. And the angels basically showed me how to heal myself. And I went on to play professional tennis and was third out of
Yeah, I remember
20,000
that.
women
Yeah.
in national. I mean, we even beat the whole United States, but then we beat everybody in, God, it was like Barbados, and all the Bahamas were competing in this one huge, it was like a world tournament. And let me tell you, but when I got that trophy, my angel said, look, this was your test of faith. Now it's time to do your God work. And I dropped everything. And this is after hours and hours of training, 5 hours a day on courts. My teammates thought I was bananas. But I knew, I says, okay, they had to show me something like, look, girl, you were told you weren't going to walk, and you just took third out of 20,000 women. Are you getting it?
Wow.
Okay, let's go. Time to do your work. Get off the
Mm-hmm.
courts and it's time now. It's time to help humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been, oh my God, what a journey it's been. I can't believe that was so long ago. It's almost like I've been involved in this 30, 40 years. And fast forward, it took a while before my first angel physically appeared to me. And by that time, we had moved from Ohio to Connecticut for my husband's job. And I was known on the East Coast, because I've always been an artist. I was painting historic town greens, the way things looked in the 1700s, 1800s. I just felt like I knew I had another life there. I recognized that whole eastern corridor, and I knew I had to paint it and capture it. And I was doing a crazy amount of business in New England. I do shows all the way up the coast, and every time I do a show, where's our town green? You got to paint our town green. Before I knew it, I had 30 town greens, limited edition prints, I mean, it was crazy. And in the middle of filling an order for a shop that I've been dealing with for a while there, I heard a voice crystal clear. The order you are working on is not important. What? I'm like, Joanne, you're losing it. I thought, okay, shake it off. You didn't have enough sleep. And then it came back two more times. The order you are working on is not important. Well, just then the phone rings, and this lady, this shop I had been dealing with forever, said, Joanne, you're not going to believe this. We just lost our lease, so I can't take that order. And then the voice said, you are to go outside, take your paints, take your canvas. And that we lived on this gorgeous property, rare flowers, because a botanist used to live there, next to 60 acres of woods. And they said, take this outside And I took all my stuff outside. I'm like, I can't believe this. Right? The energy was so strong, Dan. It was like somebody was pushing me outside. And I get out there and they said, you are to paint an angel. What? I paint angels? I'm the town green queen. Who is this? Casper the Friendly Ghost? I mean, who am I talking to at this point? It's like, oh my God, I thought I just didn't have enough sleep. But it was crystal clear. And they said, put your brushes down. And I'm like, what do you mean put my brushes down? They said, you were to paint these with your bare hands. I'm like, you got to be kidding. I got these huge hands, right? And they said, look around you, child. Your your garden, your backyard is your toolbox. So I started picking up dried daylily stems, flower stems. We had rare trees in the back from, oh my God, they were shipped from all over, Korea, Japan, you name it. We had botanists would come from all over just to take clippings. So it was like painting in heaven. Okay. And what came out in the course of a morning was guardian angel. And I looked at this thing like, who did this? Who painted this? It couldn't have been me. And I'm walking left to right of this painting, and it was changing color right in front of me. She would go from blonde to red hair to back to blonde. And I called my friend up at the time who owned a big angel shop, Arlene, who I'm now co-hosting a podcast with. We've been friends for 35, 40 years. And she arranged for a big interview at her angel shop. She's bring guardian angel. I've got, the number one newspaper is going to interview you. So I was being interviewed about how this angel came through, and a total stranger was walking by her shop, comes in, stands in front of the angel and starts sobbing. She was clear, and this happens a lot to my art. People come in and they are moved to tears. They don't know why. They feel vibrations. Little children feel vibrations. Why are my hands burning? Why are my fingers tingling? People have received crazy healing and I can't say that, everybody's going to receive a healing if they get this, but I can only tell you the stories I've heard from all over the world. And some of these stories are, oh my God, like unbelievable. So her mother came in right after her and saw her daughter crying and sobbing in front of my painting. She goes, what's going on? And she goes, I don't know, Mom. She goes, I'm just, my whole body is like, it feels like it's electricity. I can't stop crying. And the mother said, is this for sale? And I'm like, I was like a deer in headlights. I just finished painting this. I didn't even have it professionally photographed, nothing. And Arlene, bless her heart, yells out, $3,000. And the lady whips out a card. And I'm like,
Wow.
what just happened? So probably one of my biggest regrets, although I know she needed it. If she was hurting, she was going through some medical condition. I don't know what was happening with her, but somewhere in Connecticut is my original garden. And then from then on, it's like every time they tell me to go outside and paint an angel, there would be an angel that would come with it and give me a lesson about what that painting was about. So nature angel came through. It was all about taking care of Mother Earth, Gaia, that she's a living entity. We cannot live without her. And then the next one was World Peace Angel. And boy, did that change my life. And they said, this image is going to be seen by millions and presented to 20 nations. You will be speaking in front of 20 nations, and it will be received by many, many world leaders. And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I'm in this little farm town, Monroe, Connecticut. Well, my humanness decided to call, oh my gosh, I called the UN. Yeah. And just the way I even got the lithographs, it's like we would need 20 hours on the show. I'm not kidding. But everything was divinely, divinely guided, where to go, who was going to be in charge of the printing job. It was so detailed. Um, and fast forward, I already got the prints, and that was a miracle in itself, how those prints came to be. And I says, okay, well, my human brain says, well, let's get it in the United Nations. I called the gift shop. Well, they hung up on me. They said, this is a religious item. It'll offend many. And the voice came back and said, you get right back on that phone and don't you dare take no for an answer. And I'm like, so I called back and I got this girl, Rosemary. And I said, look, I says, I have this angel. I know it's supposed to be in the UN. I have to get it there. And she goes, well, listen, she goes, just send it here. And she's, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'll do my best. And I went off, I took off for another spiritual big convention in Orlando. I came back and there was official business letter envelope, number 10 envelope in my mailbox with a raised thermographic. I mean, official business, United Nations. I opened it up and it was a personal letter from Madeleine Albright, who at the time, she was the head of that place under Clinton.
Hmm.
And she had thanked me because the chief of protocol gave, gave this to her through some kind of, I don't know, ceremony they had. And then before I knew it, I got a call from the president of the World Citizen Diplomats saying, look, we're going to be honoring Rodrigo Carazo, who was the president of Costa Rica, and his ambassador, Amelia de Barrish. And do you have any like large paintings? Like we need something big as a backdrop because he's done so much for world peace. And I'm like, you're not going to believe this, but I just finished an 8-foot high painting by 4 feet across. It's just, oh my God, perfect. Bring that and bring your world peace print down here. And you know what? I said no.
Ah.
I said no. Dan, what was it? Something came over me because I have this thing about freeway because I had PTSD like you wouldn't believe because, like I said, I should, the policeman said you shouldn't even be here. There was nothing left of that car.
Right.
And for me to get on a freeway, it was too fresh. And I said, no, thank you, but I'm honored. Well, Madeleine Albright wants to take a picture with you. That's okay. I'll pass. Well, when I told my friend at the angel shop, she's, are you out of your freaking mind? She goes, I will close my shop. We're getting that painting in your van. And then I think, wait a minute, how's that going to, I don't even know if it's going to fit. Well, it turns out the angels told me to make it exactly so many feet by so many feet and not to go 1 centimeter beyond. When I took the seats out of my van, it fit perfectly. You couldn't put a toothpick. So Arlene drove. Now here we are, like Laurel and Hardy, okay, New York, busy, busy place, as you know, carrying an 8-foot painting in the streets of New York, trying to get it into the UN building. I mean, it was like Laurel and Hardy. I mean, the wind was whipping us with this gigantic, oh my God.
Yeah.
How we even got it in that building and set up is beyond me for 2 girls to do this. But we did it. So when you're on Angel Time, look out. They will move mountains. In fact, nobody even wanted us, they wouldn't even let me park in their parking spaces because we had a van. The vans weren't allowed, it took up too much space.
Mm.
Oh my God. I said, look, Madeleine Albright's waiting for me. Just park my van. I got business. So
Yeah.
anyway, we were in there and here I was like, we were sitting in the audience. I figured, okay, I did my part, Angels. Got it here. Got his gift. And I'm sitting in the audience, and the World Citizen Diplomat, the president said, Joanne, you're going to speak and tell your story. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? I was totally unprepared. So now I'm sitting flanked by all these dignitaries looking out to all these 20 countries were there. Remember what the angels told me?
Hmm.
And I got up and I just did like an Oprah Winfrey show, took out the mic. I'm like, who here believes in angels? And I'm like, so out of character for the UN. And well, everybody just like, they sat up in their seats. I told my story and I noticed that when I was sitting waiting to be called to speak, there was a monk in line with me in the audience. He had the orange robe, wooden beads, bald head. He never took his eyes off me, Dan. He never blinked. And I feel like this guy's reading my soul or something. It was like crazy. I was like, okay, who's this guy? Well,
Hmm.
after I was done speaking, right at the end, he gets up from his seat and starts going across the aisle. Like I thought, did I offend this guy? And then he's standing in the aisle opposite where my podium is, and he
Hmm.
bows to me after my speech, bowed to me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, who is this man? So I called the World Citizen the president, and I says, who is this monk? It's just, oh my God, Joanne, that's Lama Gangshen. He's like royalty. His bio is like 10 pages long. He's the one that brought the first, like, I guess you would call it a place to meditate, in the UN. And he's royalty to the doctors in India. He's like, on the level of, the highest monk.
Mhm.
So he grabbed my hands in his and he just kept bowing to me. And we're in this aisle, and I'm like, he was like an earth angel. The energy from this man was so beautiful, it's hard to put in words. And he said, we must find the common thread among all threads. You're a thread, Dan. I might be a different size or a different color, but when we weave those threads together, he said, it forms a blanket of love. No, it just was seared in my brain. So I put that onto one of my paintings, the Unity painting. But
Yeah.
so many things. I was invited to Clinton's inauguration, all the balls, because another person I met in the AOL chat room, you never know back in the 90s, do you remember when you had to dial up?
Yeah.
And we'd get these ridiculous phone bills for, $1,000. I was in an angel chat room and I was just telling people that I had just finished this 8-foot painting. And this total stranger said, Joanne, I need to call you at your house. And that's a no-no. You just don't give a stranger your phone number. Well, the angels, I heard they said just it's fine. I was nervous to pick up the phone, and it was a southern accent. And he said, you don't need my name is so and so. I'm down in Houston, Texas. And he goes, I was meditating and praying this morning for someone I could help that's doing God's work. And he says, when you mentioned you did an 8-foot painting, how much is that going to cost to convert to lithographs by Christmas? I said, that's like $5,000. He says, well, I'm sending you the check overnight. And I'm like,
Wow.
who are you? And I thought, then your mind goes like, was he want my firstborn? Well, it turns out he's a billionaire. He owned a huge oil company. All the rigs, in the Gulf, those are all his. So that was like 50 cents to him. And he says, I only have one request. He says, if you could send a printed one lithograph to this little girl dying of leukemia, Adriana. And I did. And she healed completely. And
Wow.
he was kind of like my father, my invisible. He says, look, you can tell my story, but you can never tell my name. He just referred to me as your Texas angel. And he said, there's going to come a time when you're going to get hit with all these contracts. Run them by me first because I'm a businessman. People are going to try to take advantage of you. I'll tell you, no sooner did he say that one of the most famous online shopping TV shows called me,
Hmm.
and they wanted me to have my own show. And they wanted
Hmm.
to, and people at that point were waiting 10 years to get on that show because you could sell millions of dollars worth. They followed me to my house. They came to my house in a limousine while we were packing to move to Illinois. They flew over here to Illinois and met me. And my angel said, don't do it. It's a bad deal. I didn't have to go through the Texas angel. My angel said no. Because
Right.
I said, here, they assumed I was going to say yes. They already had buyers in India buying they were going to turn my angels into quilts and sell them for
Ah,
$49. I'm like, how do you make a detailed quilt for $49? Turns out it was all child labor,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I said, no way, Jose. No. And he was furious. Like, how dare you?
Mhm.
People are waiting years to get on this show and you just blew us off like this. So, I mean, like I said, there's so many stories, Dan.
Right.
Oh
You've
my,
got a lot of them, I know. A
I
lot
could
of
write
things.
another 20 books. I'm not
Right.
kidding.
Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free meditate, make money meditation today.
Right. Right. So many things, but I think one of the things that within your story that listeners, on top of being fascinated by your story, is like, okay, like if you actually listen, Joanne's not the only one. We all got the
Right.
guidance. We all are hearing things, and it may
Yeah.
not be as detailed all the time as we heard in these stories, but you're always
Mhm.
getting, that guidance is always there, and you have access to that. And I just find like most of the time, even if we're tuner inners, a lot of times we're not paying attention still. They're like, oh, I don't know. I just decided to do what. Were you listening to your guidance? Oh, yeah, I guess not, right? So it's like, so if we can just allow ourselves to, continue to listen to our guidance, that's, that is a huge, that's the hugest thing ever. I want to say, like, that's one of the hugest things we can do to forward our life, right? I mean,
Exactly.
that's what really created all that happening. If you hadn't listened, goodness knows what might have happened.
Well, I was living in a busy city and, I was working in Cleveland, Ohio, and they told me they needed to get me out to the country. So Monroe,
Mhm,
Connecticut is about as country as you can get. Because my
mhm,
husband took a job as a marketing person for a big X-ray company out there. And they said you needed the energy of nature and quiet and stillness for you to hear us. And they said, we try to connect with many of you, your kind, but you're too busy.
yeah.
And then you complain, well, my angels never come to me. You have to find a still point, and especially nature. Go sit on a
Mhm,
log, go to an arboretum, go to a nursery, and just
mhm,
find stillness away from people.
mhm.
And they're there to help you guys. And we all have multiple angels, not just one,
Yeah,
multiple.
people and our devices, our phones primarily, right? Like sometimes this is our
Uh,
guidance, like whatever's on here, it's right in our face,
right.
right?
We become connected to these cell phones and videos, and we forgot how to communicate, not only with the angels, but with our family. These
Mm,
children growing up, all they live on is video games. And I see
mm,
them in restaurants, nobody's communicating. The kids are
mm.
all doing this, the father's
Right.
doing business. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow. Yeah.
So if there was ever an answer to like, why don't they come to me, Joanne? That's why maybe you're not taking time to be still.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that was the number one message I had for someone yesterday. I said, that's it. Like that's all you need to focus on for now, primarily. You just need to be still finally and stop
Right.
trying to do
People don't know
all
how
the
to do
different
that.
things. Be still finally. Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what they tell me? I don't have time to be still. Are you crazy?
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
then don't complain.
I always love, I got Gandhi's picture over here and everything, and I've channeled Gandhi, historically, and he always, right? He always said, if I got a busy day, then I really need to go deep in meditation. I got to spend more time in meditation. And yeah, most people do
So
it
true.
backwards. Well, I have to cut it back because I'm too busy now.
No, if you really want to connect with your higher self, with your legions of angels, find your quiet space. I mean, I create a sacred space in this house. That's just mine. I even created a spa bathroom so that I can, because I'm working on people that are broken all day long. It's like I created a beautiful spa area where this is my space.
Yeah, and people watching through video, you can see how beautiful it is. You see your painting there, and you got
Yeah,
the
it's just,
mural in the back and everything. It's gorgeous. It's really
well, I
wonderful.
figured if I'm in this office, I wanted a swimming, you can't see, but there's a swimming pool behind me that's painted.
Yeah.
It's a patio looking out to Sorrento, Italy, and it's like, oh, it's just so peaceful.
Oh
And my
boy.
gardens, I've got gorgeous gardens here. I'm a gardener. But you've got to create a beautiful space for you and get rid of all the clutter in your house. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I'm very zen. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got to
That
take care
that
of
you're
you
right.
guys.
That's something I had been ignoring, and I'm getting I'm making strides, like just letting things be all over the place in my office and in my drawers and here and that. And this year I'm just like, that's it. I'm going after everything. I'm tripling down on everything kind of mentality, like intentionality, clearing clutter, everything. And so
Think like
it's
a
really
Buddhist.
yeah, it's really helped a lot. It's just the peace of mind you get of looking at an organized drawer even. They're just like,
Yes.
ah, everything's right here, right? Like we don't realize the invisible. It seems like it's like an invisible cost because you don't know like that's creating tension and chaos in your mind, and it's a reflection of your mind, of course, when you've got all that stuff all over the place in your even a drawer,
Right.
much less other areas. But like, wow, I just feel so at peace going into my drawer now.
It does. It creates the energy, the chi can flow much better. I mean, buy a book on feng shui, if nothing
Mhm.
else. Find out where your wealth corner is. clean the clutter. And if you're into, some people love antiques and old, well, clear that energy from the previous owners. Because some of it is really like crazy energy you're bringing into your own house. But no, my place is like a gallery because I've got so many pieces of angel art. And my guides always told me this is healing art. It's high vibrational, omnidimensional art. And wherever you hang it, regardless if it's a litho or an original or a postage size stamp, it creates a portal on your wall from one dimension to another. So the gifted children that used to come here for healing, they would see the angels coming out of these paintings. One little boy he saw a whole army of people from his past life filing out of my 8-foot painting. I mean, that's bananas. But
Right. Right.
someone
All
just,
kinds of things. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, a lot of the stories about the art are covered, in my first book, Surviving Art
Yeah.
School.
I have that one.
And then I did 2 more. I mean, these are all aspects I learned, from the
Hmm.
from the angels. So it's a trilogy and loaded with pictures.
Hmm.
Most books are just all type. No, mine are loaded with all kinds of good stuff to move you forward, even certain vibrations to heal certain things. Because what they showed me is that the wave of the future, how we're going to heal is through light and frequency. And I'm like, I didn't understand that at first, but now that I'm interviewing so many NDEers that have crossed over, and not just the ones that, oh, it's not your time, go home. No, these are the ones that were given the tour of heaven, that were shown the different halls of healing, the hall of future. And
Hmm.
oh my gosh, it is mind blowing what they were shown. Do you know that
Yeah. That is
even weather,
amazing.
this one blew my mind. Weather, the weather is if you have a war going on somewhere in the United where there's a lot of bombings, people are
Hmm.
getting, land is being destroyed. It affects the weather. So pay attention. They said the tornadoes will go right through the roof. And during the Iraqi war, there was 300 tornadoes in Florida. And now with what's going on, the tornadoes are insane in Illinois. I mean, oh my gosh. And
Yeah, we almost had to go down in the basement last night.
are
The
you still in
sirens are
Illinois?
going off and
Are you
everything.
still
Yeah.
in Illinois?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in McHenry. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're up there. Yeah. And so, last night
Yeah.
was, but we've had a lot of tornadoes touch down. We had one that came into our town, Naperville, took out
Hmm.
some houses.
Yeah.
And then Kankakee, oh my God, that was like
Yeah. Yeah. They get hit a lot. Yeah.
crazy, crazy.
Yeah. Well, it does. It's
Yeah,
everything's affecting everything, I mean, so to
exactly.
speak. And so, yeah, I mean, regardless, all these ideas about war of like, well, we must do this because they're gonna do that, and we gotta do this. And I'm like, okay, like that is something I love about Marianne Williamson with way back in the day when she started with the political stuff. Like, we need a Department of Peace, like, I mean, I agree with everything she
Amen.
says,
Yeah.
but like on that, hallelujah, like we definitely need more of that going on. I mean,
Yeah.
so, because that's just like, I'm just like, no, when it comes to this stuff. And most people that have been in combat, it will tell you, like, I am not for any conflicts, any war, right? Because they actually have witnesses of the
Who
obvious,
is?
what should be the obvious horror of it. Well, we
Right.
only killed a couple people. Only a
Oh
couple
my
people, right?
God.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like everything gets justified. You're like, yeah, it's just a transaction. It's just the price of, what we needed to do. And I think, there's just so few cases where any of it's justified. I mean, if ever, I don't know. That's debatable, I guess. But I think like we have if we were to master our energy, I know we would never need it. Look at Japan. I mean, there's like nobody guarding things there. Like the crime's extremely low because of the culture, the energy they've created. They don't have to
Right.
worry about it. They got gold museums filled with gold, and people could come and go all night and day with no guards. I mean, how is that possible?
Exactly.
Like it's unheard of here in the U.S. and many other places.
And even Costa Rica, they have no
Yeah,
army, no army.
yeah, yeah.
So that Rodrigo Carrazzo that I presented to, I presented him with the World Peace Angel in front of all those people. And he backed me up that angels do exist. He says, I couldn't do my world peace efforts without my legions of angels around me. And
Mhm.
he said he was going to hang that World Peace Angel up he built a peace museum. So he's a beautiful light. Oh my gosh. So a lot of these presidents do more, they could do so much more when they're retired, because they don't have all the chains, and
Right.
that bind them. But
Yeah.
we've got to practice more kindness. They showed me with what's going on now that the world's at a tipping point, and they showed what could happen in the future if we keep destroying each other and
Right.
destroying places. That was it Mad Max? It was a clip of a movie where people were fighting over bottled water. There was like
Right. Probably Mad Max. Yeah.
they said, this is your choice if your kind keeps going down this path, but you also are so powerful you could turn this around.
Right.
And they said service to humanity is key.
Hmm.
And you never take anyone's life. They said because you are disrupting someone's journey. So that was like number one, you don't do. You don't ever kill anyone. And then they
Hmm.
said always honor Mother Earth because she's a living entity. I mean, I remember meeting top shamans from South America, and they said, they would call it Gaia, Pachamama. There's all different names they use for Mother Earth. They said she
Right.
cries. She's crying because we poisoned her. We're polluting her. We're bombing places. We're strip mining. And
Hmm.
she is a living entity. So
Hmm.
they said, you must be mindful.
Right.
And yeah, I've been invited to many, many ceremonies I've got a close connection. It must be past life stuff, with shamans. Native American tribes have all invited me for sacred ceremonies, in Anipis. I'm talking real Anipis, not the ones that Americans, but these were like, holy cow. Um, and the one from South America, Don Alejandro Soria, he's probably in his 90s now. Do you know him? He's from South America.
Yeah. Hmm.
He said, you're kind. I got to meet him when I was a guest speaker in Yellowstone in front of 600 people. I was unveiling unity, and he was in the audience. And I would sit with him for the longest time with his wife, and she would interpret because he couldn't speak English. And he
Hmm.
told us how, he says, your archaeologists got our history all wrong. The stepped pyramids?
Right.
No, he says, your stories, your movies all show that we were killing our own people, heads rolling down why would
Right.
we kill our own people off? That made no sense at all. He said what we got because we were so connected to Mother Earth. You can imagine what their intuition was like. Oh my gosh. They
Right.
were antennas.
Right.
And we saw the conquistadors coming for our gold. So oh my gosh. Sometimes I have to pinch myself for the people, the leaders I've met in this lifetime, Dan. But I don't have time to think about it because I'm always on the next project.
Right. Right. Exactly.
There's
Well,
no
hey,
room
when you
for
come on a
ego.
podcast or something, you got a chance to reflect on it.
It doesn't sink until somebody says, did you put that story in your book? Oh my God, you had to put that.
Right.
And I'm like, I
Right.
totally forgot about that one. But
Yeah.
no, my angels always said if ego ever gets in your way, all your gifts will be removed. And boy, does
Yeah.
that keep you humble.
Yeah.
They says, number one, you are here to serve humanity. It's no longer about what's in it for us. It's
Right.
how can I serve humanity? And
Right.
anytime you have a podcast like what you're doing, Dan, you're doing exactly that. So the blessings will be infinite when it's your time to go to your real home.
Hmm.
Um, One of the points of service I did that, if anyone ever asked me of all the service you do for humanity, is there one that really stuck out, that really was like golden for you? And it was in early 90s. I met a young boy on Facebook, and he was from India, and his parents were killed, when the whole Tibetan thing was going on.
Hmm.
And a lot of the young kids, they saw their parents get slaughtered, and they escaped to India in their just underwear. But India took them in, they educated them all the way up to college free. So they wouldn't have millions of kids homeless on their streets. So kudos to them. But this boy was so upset with life that he lost his country, Tibet, he lost his parents, that I don't know if you ever heard the term self-immolation. It's where you set yourself on
Oh,
fire.
yeah. I've heard of it. Yeah. Hmm.
So he decided to set himself on fire.
Mhm.
And he just wanted to end his life. Well, in India, it's against the law. So when the police put the fire out, not only that, he had to go to jail because it's against the law to do that.
Right.
Well, fast forward, I heard about him and I friended him, and I started sending him gifts, anything creative, journals, crayons, you name markers, beautiful calligraphy sets, CDs, you name it. I was sending him for every year that he never had a birthday. And it changed this boy's life. That someone actually cared about him, that loved him. He was sleeping on a dirt floor in Dharamsala. And I'm telling you, there was something about this little boy. He just ripped my heart wide open. I just wanted to adopt him and pull him in. So to fast forward, he's like in his 30s now. He's married to a movie actress. He said, I only have one request. Can I call you mom? And that just, oh my God. And now what he's done, he's turned his life around because someone saw something in him. And he now created theaters that move from city to city. And it reminds people of the Tibet they lost, so they never forget their home country. But he does it with humor. He says, Mom, I'm a joker now. But oh my gosh, now he's got a whole series of restaurants. I told him, I says, you're going places. You're going to be an official. Mark my words. I'm seeing this growth, tremendous growth in this toss away kid. So I guess my message is to the viewers, don't ever feel like, even if you do something small for someone, you have no idea how you can change a life. And it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. Seriously.
Right.
They just want validation. They
Right.
want to know they're loved, that somebody can hear them. And I think it was my third book, I did a whole chapter on him, how he changed my life.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
changed my life. So when you do a kind act, and you know this, Dan, how many of the spiritual leaders have taught this, that when you do a kind act for someone, it activates serotonin, melatonin. But if someone sees that act, you do a kind act in a restaurant, anywhere, and
Right.
someone witnesses that, they get the same
Yeah.
blessing. The
Yeah.
It's powerful
Yeah.
stuff. I'll tell
It's
you,
very powerful.
powerful stuff.
One of the things that I'll just share too from today, and I think it's my new paradigm of how I see it. Like we intellectually will say things like, "Oh, everybody's our brothers and sisters and everything," right? But today when I was at the gym, I'm like, that's it. I'm flipping my lens. I'm seeing not everybody is like like the separation lens most of us see others from, in a sense. We might see the field sort of and all that, but like we kind of see people as different. I'm like, no, from now on, I'm seeing them as my brothers and sisters, like truly, not like theoretically. Like, and it just changes your energy completely because there's so much
Exactly.
energy of feeling like, like underneath, like in social situations, right? But when you see it from more of that lens, it's just like, oh, I'm at peace. I'm at home. I mean,
Right.
everything's beautiful.
Well,
Everything's
what I
perfect.
was shown, and what I learned from interviewing, so many indie ears, is that the angels showed them on the other side, that we are all aspects of God. The God DNA is in every one of us. So I see it as like, I'm a cell of God, you're a cell, she's a
Right,
cell, he's a cell. And it's almost like, if you could imagine that source, that ball of light, and if that was an explosion, all those sparks would be us. So
right.
if I did anything to ever hurt you, Dan, I'm only hurting myself. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right,
So if people could only see it from that viewpoint, oh my God, could we change this world or what?
right.
You know, it's,
Mhm.
but kindness is key, and love is all there is. That's all, everybody I talk to, it's the same message. It's about love. Teach only love. Practice more kindness, you know. And people think, well, I'm just me. What
Right,
difference can I get that a lot.
right.
I'm
You
like,
get the small,
whoa,
you're right. The smallest things can make it change someone's life. I mean, in an
right.
instant.
I
Like,
taught this in a prison surrounded by guards, and these were
Mhm.
people that were in there for life that killed people. And I showed them a different way of looking at this. I said, look, guys, you're going to be in here the rest of your life. So you've got to start treating your brothers here on a different level. And I showed them a different way of looking at it.
Mhm.
And they were so moved. There were men that were crying in the audience. And that was one of them. That was another powerful. There's so many. There's so, like I said, there's so many
Right.
stories. But
Right. Some
that
people might
one,
be like, why are you bothering with them? They're the bad ones or whatever. And it's like, ha, so-called
right.
bad ones, right?
And there are some, the real toughies. They'll say,
Right.
hey, girly, are you
Right.
afraid to be here? Hey, girly. And I'm like, I says, excuse me, I didn't have to come here. I volunteered my time because I knew there's something in each and every one of you that is so
Right.
beautiful.
Right.
And it's like, the only thing is, no one has ever hugged you and said, I love you. You matter.
Right.
So what you did to find that love, because you didn't have it in your family, you seeked it elsewhere in a
Right.
gang member because you belonged.
Right.
You were
Exactly.
validated. So I'm giving you a different way of looking at things. And I'll tell you what, here's, oh my God, I'm getting God bumps just thinking about this. Fast
Mhm.
forward 5 years from me teaching there, I get this big envelope in the mail. 5 years. Inside was 30 handwritten letters from those prisoners on how I
Wow.
affected them. I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out reading these. I'm like,
Wow.
oh my God, what? First of all, what happened? Why are they sitting there for 5 years? Someone just filed it away and forgot about it and then left the job. And the letters in there, Dan, were so moving. They said, I want to be like you. I, if I ever get out of here, I want to take up art. Could you come
Mm.
back and teach us art? I know that I messed up. Do you think God will ever forgive me? Oh my God.
Mhm.
It was emotional overload to open that up, to think I really, I made a difference to these hardened criminals. So
Right.
yeah, I
Well,
get
some
teary-eyed
people
just thinking about it.
let's think about what people might be thinking, and that might go in the opposite direction a little bit right now, or would hold back their momentum on that idea. Oh, like, well, that's you, Joanne. You're this earth angel or whatever, and you're just so special and
Mhm.
everything. But like, like, so we should speak to that, I think. Like, honestly, just seeing somebody, at the grocery store that just smiles at you, right? Like, can just
Right,
change your day. You might have been suicidal before that, like someone smiles at you, you're
exactly.
like, and this happens. This is like literal story. It's like you
Right,
see them smile, you're like, oh, maybe people are okay, and maybe life is good. Maybe I am loved. And right? The smallest things could change everything. I mean, I don't have as dramatic a stories as you do in this regard, but like, I mean, I remember doing developmental, reading like for people in college, but like there was a gang member in there that, he was about to give up. He had to pass this reading test thing we were doing. He's filling
mhm,
out, the thing, and he was just feeling overwhelmed. He's putting his head down, and he quickly looked up towards me, and I think he was looking for something from me. So I just gave him a thumbs up sign. That's it. I said, "Come on, like you got this,"
yeah,
and and he got right back to work. Like he got energized, he got focused, and where he totally wasn't before. And then as it turned out, he passed. He passed it, and he was able to move on. And this is someone that had gotten shot, and everything that year, everything because it was being in
right,
the gangs. And like I just knew, like whatever happened with him afterwards, that made a difference. Like of all the
exactly.
stories I could tell about, like that's one of the more moving ones for me because of how simple it was. All I had to do was just
Simple
be like, yes, you got them.
kindness.
Yeah, kindness.
You
Yeah,
showed
it's a
love. And did
simple.
that cost you anything?
No,
No.
no.
But it changed a life because you never know. You could just talk to someone 5 minutes in a grocery store that's having a
Right,
bad day. And like you said, that night they may have been thinking of taking their life.
right.
But you show that little tiny, and I call people like, on their stuff sometimes, like when I was teaching in that prison, one of the, someone put their hand up to ask me a question and he had a lisp. And another prisoner on the other side start making fun of him because of the lisp. That gave him power. Put somebody else down makes me higher. And you know what? I stopped everything dead. I said, excuse me. I looked him right in the eye. And not nasty or anything, like just like the mom, the strict mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I said, how does that serve your giftedness? There was no place for him to go, Dan. Think
Mm-hmm.
about that. Because you're paying them a compliment, are you not? All
Mm-hmm.
you have to say is, how is that serving your giftedness? He had no answer. He put his head down. He was ashamed.
Right. Right.
So there are ways, and because I have so many clients that are miserable at work, they got the boss from hell and they don't know how to handle it, but they have to work because they can't pay their bills without the job. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I always show them different ways, that they could get around it where it doesn't come off condescending, you know.
Yeah.
And just sometimes you have to turn around and just do an act of kindness that's so unexpected from someone who's just dogging on you all the time. And it could change because first of all, I told him if someone's constantly belittling you at the office or making your life hell, just know, I can almost guarantee it, that they were raised as an abused child or they have a husband that's beating on them. And all you can do is silently bless their heart and send them love because you never say that out loud when they're aggravated. I've just I made that mistake once. I said to someone, "Oh, bless your heart," and I didn't mean it in a condescending way.
Right.
And they said, "Who are you to bless my heart?" I'm like, "Whoa, whoa."
Right.
So
Right.
everybody is. A lot of people are stressed out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're in changing times now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it's just it is. It's like the most amazing things are the simplest things. I found that with my work in the world too. Sometimes I've got in my head, I'm like, okay, this is my plan. This is what I'm doing. And yeah, some of it's downloaded sort of, right? Like I'm tuning in but like, and then I miss the obvious stuff, like Daniel, you're great at like energy scanning. Why are you not like putting groups together and doing your healing that you used to always do and whatnot? Why are you not doing that lately? And
yeah, that's a
like so,
gift. Oh my
yeah. So
gosh.
I'm like, oh my God. So this week I just kicked off one of my Living Heaven on Earth groups, and it's just like to be in that field of light with all the people that are in there.
Mm,
It's and the expansion of the energy is just off the charts, and it's like I'm
yes.
like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Like, it's just like when you just know, right? I feel that too with the podcast in a sense. It's like, I know I'm meant to do like, there's no
Right.
like, oh, should I keep it? Should I not keep it? Like, I'm yeah, like I love doing my podcast, right? So it's like, what are the
Mhm.
things you love doing and that just come natural, that are easy? Like, we keep thinking it's got to be hard,
It's
right?
so
And
easy.
it's
This
got to be
is like,
complicated. It's got to be hard to be effective,
yeah,
right?
this is
It
like our
doesn't need,
second skin.
yeah,
This is what we signed up. Our contract was to come in here and do this. So to do a podcast is it's like talking to an old friend. But in the
right,
process, you're affecting God knows who that
right,
that could
right.
use these gems of wisdom. And
Yeah.
Arlene and I, my co-host, we always say, "Oh my God, there's times that we're so tired." I'm like, and we have to interview somebody. And like, "Oh dear God, give me the strength to get through this next 45 minutes, please, dear God." But when we're done, we are so energized. We're on
Mhm.
fire. So there's something, I don't know what it is. Are we channeling the grace of God when we're interviewing people, when we're talking the God work? But you get so energized, it's
Yeah.
so there's something to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's something to it.
absolutely. So
And
I know people might want to follow up with you and whatnot. I know you have some new stuff coming up. I haven't heard about it. So I'd love to hear,
oh
I'd
my
love to hear
gosh,
like what you're up to, and then obviously where people can, go learn more about you and connect with
right.
you.
Well, I never stop painting. I
Hmm.
never stop seeing people that need help to come over here because I do energy sessions by appointment. And I've done a lot of artwork since I saw you. Oh my gosh, a lot of artwork. And then I just finished another book, Amelia Blue, which is a
Mm.
fun book. It's about a teenager who she doesn't realize that she was from the world of Fae or fairy. So it's that could reach anyone from teens to adults, like the Harry Potter kind of thing. But there's lessons in every chapter. And I did 34 new paintings for that book alone. 34
Wow.
paintings. That was oh, that was a couple years ago. So the thing is now I'm trying to find a printer because I didn't realize when you have 34 color paintings in a book, it cost a fortune. So
Mm.
I'm shopping around to see if this is even affordable to print. I hate to do all that work and then print it in black and white. But then
Mm.
I co-host Beacons of Balance on YouTube.
Mhm.
That comes out every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with my buddy of 35 years, Arlene McKay. And we focus more on angels, near death, people that have seen angels physically. So if anybody's out there that has a good NDE story, hey, write to us. And then to see my art, you can go to joannemacko.com. I'm sure you'll have that information below.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and all the books are on there, all the artwork is on there. If you have any questions about anything, you could email me. Um, I always find time to email. That's what
Yeah.
we do, right, Dan? We're here to
Yeah.
service humanity, however that
Right.
looks.
Right, right,
Uh,
right. Yeah, we're not the type to be like, I don't have time for you or whatever. And we tend to
right.
just, yeah, we show up for the people that are reaching out to us. So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
put that information in the show notes for people and to reach out to you and yeah, so we're to the point of the show where, and I'm definitely gonna check out your Beacons of Balance. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I love listening to those stories. Yeah, I've done my little binges here and there on YouTube, listening to some of the various stories and whatnot. So that's always amazing. So definitely checking that one out. So we can put that right on my list. So follow up right
Good.
away. So Jan, we're gonna do the energy scan spotlight. Now you ready to
Okay.
receive some downloads?
Oh, yes.
All right, cool. Let's see what
Always
comes
ready
through
for
for
that.
you today, particularly. One moment. The image I'm getting is of you as with a speaking. I don't know if you're getting in front of people live recently. I know you have historically, but I'm getting like a lot there. That transformational leader energy is the way it was said, and that I just see your books just flying out there. Just flying out there to the audience. So
Good.
I feel like there's, you probably a lot of people say you've got to keep telling these stories. You got to tell as many people as possible, and you're doing that part through the books. But I also feel like there's more speaking opportunities, is what the guidance is. What I'm getting to start get because there's that fire energy that behind that. So I just want to share
Right.
that one first, and then I'll do one more, and then we'll chat about it if you want. Okay, let's see what else comes through for today. I'm just observing, and one of the things I'll remark on because I'm just seeing it right now is like there is a lot of expanded energy for you. When I tap into people, I'm looking for blockages, like with a lot of people, even my guests. I have a lot of people are more on the higher vibrational side on my show. It's like extremely quick, like to find blockage. Not that I can't with you, but it's like I'll find them extremely quick, and it's very clear right away. So when I don't see it as quickly and as easily, you typically what it means in this case it would mean like you have so much lightness in your energy that it's I have to actually dig a little bit to get a little clearer and stronger what the actual issues are. I mean, like I
Mhm.
did see some heaviness on the back of the head. um Sometimes that's like old like traumas like from past lives too, of like being like robbed or murdered or whatever, like boom, it bang you on the back of the head, and it still keeps
Yeah.
showing up like in the
Mhm.
scans. So that's something. And I also got in the more sacral chakra energy, lower solar plexus. There's a tightness there showing up, and I don't know. There's a little bit of you're a social person, but there's a little bit of like Everybody's irritating me. Just want to get off of it. Just leave me alone for a while. Get off my lawn, by the way. There's a little bit of that in there, like just a little irritation in there. And it's sort of like you just want more, like you said about the Zen, right? You're just like, I want more
Yeah.
Zen. Like, so the idea of getting out there speaking too might be a little disturbing on one level because part of you just loves your quiet time and just, oh,
Mhm.
geez, So that's something that showed up like actually in the chakras and it's because like maybe you're the lady in the shoe kind of metaphor. I'll just do it as a metaphor from past life where and you have
Mhm.
in this life to in a way, but like you're tending to so many people, it's just exhausting. It's just like, oh, come on. No, no, just give me some space for a while here. So that's what I noticed. So those are the two things that came through and yeah, I'd love to
Well,
hear any
thank
of your
you.
thoughts about it.
Wow. Well, when I did that Lightworkers conference for almost 25 years, and there was
Yeah.
always like a ballroom of people, and they'd always come up to you and hug you, and like, oh my God, this changed my, and one after another. And by the time I got to my hotel room, I just wanted to put the t-shirt on with a like no hug sign.
Right, I'm done.
The international sign of, with the diagonal. Um, because it does, it's like, a lot of people they can't tie their shoe without calling you.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
sure you have some clients like that. And there are some that they want to see me like almost every day if they could.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
what do I do now? What decision do I? They can't make a decision on their own, and that can
Mm,
be draining.
yeah,
It's like I'm trying to teach them to be more powerful.
right, right.
So that aspect of being the healer, but I've learned to put protection around me, which a lot of healers don't. And
Yeah.
I see a lot of broken healers coming to me because they
Mm,
forget to give the energy back to their client, give my
yeah,
energy back to me, and cut the cords between
right.
us. So, you healers out there, anybody listening, that's a very important step.
Yeah, if I
Okay.
ever forget it after I do something, I'm like, why am I feeling so off? Oh yeah, I forgot to do
Yeah.
that. I better do that now. Like,
Or putting the circle grid of protection around you before you start.
okay.
But more important, give their energy back to them when you're
Yeah,
done.
yeah, both,
Take your
sure,
energy back and cut the cords
sure.
so you don't take on any of their stuff.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
hey, it's
All
all
right.
good, thank you so much. This has been so good just to connect with you after so long,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. Likewise. And everybody, if you want to check me out, just go to sacredpurpose.com and you can
Mhm.
get your free meditate, make money meditation, open up your energy, open up your chakras, open up to all that guidance that's there. Just settle in. It's a new earth way that wants to unfold. So you can
Right.
grab that meditation at yoursacredpurpose.com, meditate and make money. And people always tell me it's more than money, Daniel. It's so much more in there. Like okay, good. That's good too. So check that out there. And then when you do that, you'll get notifications about the new podcasts and great new guests like Joanne and we've had Neil Donald Walsh on twice now. You never know who's going to be on
Wow.
next, right? All kinds of people. Today, we're going to do a recording on someone, and you probably know them. Yeah, she channels the druids and all that. Right, Catherine, right? Yeah, I don't know if you remember her, but I know you've met her. So, but anyway, so we've got that going on today. We got so many things. So go ahead and make sure you go ahead and follow up with that so you can get notified every time there's a new episode. And there's so much more, to gain because mostly what I send out, I mean, I do send out a fair amount of promotions too, but because I want to help people, but there's a lot of me just wanting to give to you guys too once you get on that email list as well. So check that out at yoursacredpurpose.com. And there'll be also opportunities to get energy scans from me. Trust, free and paid. You'll see them dropping into your email box so you can get an energy scan too. All right. So, Joanne, it's so wonderful having you on. Like
Oh my gosh.
you were saying before, and I just, yeah, I can't wait till next time we meet in person. Maybe over the summer, if you go to the whatever the Deb's annual metaphysical tribe event, that's always
Oh yeah.
awesome. But yeah, sometime I'm sure we'll meet again in person. That'll be amazing. It's been a long time, but it's been so great
Mhm.
to have you on the podcast
Thank
today.
you so much, Dan. This is just delightful. Keep doing your good work.
Likewise, of course. All right. Thank you.
All
All
right.
right. And thank you for everybody tuning in. Keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till the next time, everyone. listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.